So we are going to study some case studies about some countries, their system like Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, China, Estonia, Mexico, Fiji, Zimbabwe and Sri Lanka. So the first of all we will study about Pakistan. General Parvez Musharraf led a military coup on October 1999. What is military coup? That is military attack over the government by the military officials. They will get together and they will attack against the government. That is called military coup. So in 1999 October, General Parvez Musharraf led an attack against the government. He overthrew the democratically elected government. He took away and he declared the chief executive of the country. He became the chief executive of the country. In 2002, he changed his position to president. He became the president of Pakistan. Then he held a referendum for 5 years extension also. And the media, human rights organizations and the democratic activists said that the referendum was based on malpractices and fraud. Because media and all organizations were against the Pervez Musharraf. In August 2002, he issued a legal framework order amendment in the Constitution of Pakistan regarding his referendum. According to this order, President can dismiss the national or provincial assemblies. So this is like a dictatorship system. Presidents can dissolve or dismiss any time the national government and the provincial government. The work of civilian cabinet supervised by the National Security Council dominated by military officers. In every part of the government was controlled by the military. After passing the law, the election held to the national and the state assemblies. After this referendum, the electoral representative have some powers because the most power are vested in the president. The electoral representative has small powers. But the final power rests with the military officers and the President General Parvez Musharraf. So we have to check the incidents along with the features of democracy. And what are the features of democracy has been violated in Pakistan? You have to find it. Okay, the next one is our neighboring country, that is China. China, elections regularly is happening in every 5 years. Elect for the country's parliament is named as National People Congress. They have the power to appoint the president because the electoral representative have the power to appoint the president. It have nearly 3,000 people elected from all parts of the country. 3,000 people have. In India, there is only in Parliament, Lok Sabha, 545. Instead of that, in Pakistan, in China, there are 3,000 members. Some members are elected by the army also. Before contesting the election, candidates need the approval of the Chinese Communist Party because there is only one party in China. So, if those who are the candidates contesting election, they have to get the consent or the permission from the Chinese Communist Party. Only those who are the member of Chinese Communist Party or a smaller parties allied with were allowed to contest the election held in 2002 and 2003, the last time. Though only the Communist Party or its allied 8 parties only have the permission to contest the election. The government is always formed by the Communist Party because there is no any opposition party in China. So we have to look here also that what are the present president of China, Xi Jinping, he also have a power that he can be a president whenever he wishes to be a president. No one cannot be dissolved or take him out of the presidential power. Okay, the next one is Mexico. Since its independence in 1930, the Mexico had the election after every 6 years to elect its president. The country had never been under the military or dictator rule. It was always on the basis of a democratic system. But until 2000, all election was won by a single party called PRI. PRI, Institutional Revolutionary Party. There is only party have controlled from 1930 to 2000. That means 70 years. The opposition party did contest in election, but they never win the election because the PRI used many dirty tricks to win the election. All those who employed in government offices had to attend in party meetings. So there is a connection between democracy, the bureaucrats, and everything is safe. So the teachers of the government schools are forced the parents to vote for PRI. So media ignored the activities of the opposition parties. Media will not consider the functioning of oppositions. They will always support to the government only. Sometimes the polling booths will be shifted from one place to another. It will make the people to confuse in voting time also. So the PRI spent a large amount of money in the election campaign and for its candidates also. So here in Mexico also you have to find out that what are the features are violated in Mexico. And next one is in Saudi Arabia, Fiji and Estonia. Saudi Arabia, women do not have the right to vote. And Estonia made its citizenship rules in such a way that people belonging to the Russian community find it difficult to get the right to vote. In Estonia is the nearest of the Russia. Those who came from Russia or the Russian community in Estonia, they have a small chance to get the right to vote. In Fiji also the electoral system such as the vote for an indigenous species only. Those who migrated from India to Fiji also they will get a small chances for casting vote. Only the indigenous Fiji have right to vote. And also here also we have to check what are the features of democracy has been violated in Saudi Arabia and in Estonia and Fiji. And next one is in Zimbabwe. It's attained independence from white minority in 1980. Since then the country has been ruled by ZANU-PF, the party of the freedom struggle. The leader was Robert Mugabe. He has been ruling the country since independence. Election has been held regularly, always wins ZANU. ZANU is always winning. There is no chance for other parties. President is popular but uses unfair practices in election. He is using some unfair practices. Changing the constitution and increasing the power of president and makes him less accountable. He makes the every power to him. The opposition party workers harassed and disrupted. Always the opposition party is harassed by the the government. There is a law limits right to criticize the president. There is a law. It's limited to criticize the president or the government. And the TV and radio were controlled by the government have got only the ruling party's version only. And there are the independent newspapers, but government harass those journalists who go against the government. Those who are writing against the government officials harass them. The government has ignored court judgments and went against its prejudiced judges. And the government will appoint the judges, those who are favored to the ZANU-PF party. So here also we have to identify what are the features are violated by the Zimbabwe government. And find out on which aspects are violated in democracy and which is preserved. Bhutan king declared that the future he will be guided by advice given to him by elected representative. Bhutan king has decided that he will rule the government and he will advise to the representatives. And in Sri Lanka, many Tamil workers migrated from India were not given right to vote. That means the the Sri Lankan Tamilians, those who are migrated from India, they have no right to vote in Sri Lanka. In Nepal, there is a system that king imposed a ban on political gathering. There is no chance for gathering like we are conducting the protest and something in India. Demonstrations or rallies, there is no permission. The Bhutan the Nepal king has been imposed the ban on it. And in Bihar, the Indian Supreme Court held that the dissolution of Bihar Assembly was unconstitutional. Bihar said that, like, because Supreme Court's judgment is unconstitutional. And in Bangladesh, political parties agreed that the neutral government should rule the country at the time of election. So these are all about the case diaries. The major decisions led by the elected leaders: one person, one vote, one value, right for rights, respect for rights, rule of law, free and fair electoral competitions. Though these are the points we have to understand, and we have to comparison this with the previous we already discussed about the countries' case studies.